Hello and welcome finally to this capstone episode of our month of the generation. This is Pseudo Ludo. I'm your host Murph. I'm joined by Nick and Brian, and this week we are going to talk about our favorite games of the decade. It's going to be a very meaty episode. How you guys doing? How do you guys feel about this?
Big, meaty claws.
Whenever I hear your hot takes, it's gonna cause an early retirement.
Yeah, strap in, everybody. Buckle up, because there are definitely going to be some heated takes on the way. We definitely won't agree. Right now, we all prepared ahead of time. We wrote out our top 30 games each, and here's a few ground rules for how we're gonna do this. Every contestant, shall we say, gets 45 seconds on a timer to give their game and why they think it deserves whatever spot it's at, and we're gonna keep doing that until we make our way down to number one. Now, if a game gets mentioned that somebody else has, how do you guys want to do it? Do we want to pass until that number, or just let them? I was thinking you do your 45 seconds, and then they do their 45 seconds when the time comes.
If there's anything they want to add, you don't want to spoil the list.
And I think maybe let's try to have pretty concise conversations for the sake of time, but we can also, if there's something you really need to respond to, I think we can let in discussions ensue, as needed, right?
Yeah, we're already getting limited here. Come on, let us breathe.
Yeah, no, we definitely like. I think especially once we get into the top 10, we can kind of loosen the restraints. But maybe for the top, 30 to 20 or somewhere in that range, will be a little tighter or something like that.
I was planning on talking about my number 25 for an hour and a half.
Oh, well, we can always make that arrangement if necessary. You can petition me for more time, I guess, and I'll allot it as I see fit.
Can I filibuster your picks?
Yeah. All right, well, I'd say without further ado, why don't we just get right down to it, okay?
Yes, sir.
So, criteria, I think everyone's just going completely subjectively by their favorite. I'm sure we can all make good arguments for what our favorites are, but it's a fun episode. It's just a fun discussion.
It would be fun, but I want to say that I hate my list, so...
Yeah,
that's a good start.
I personally also had a lot of trouble deciding on where to put everything. Every time I look at it, I want to change it. I see stuff even now that I could probably change. So this is also not set in stone. But without further ado, Brian, let's start off with you. We'll go in order of birth. How about that?
Okay. We first of all, a rule I don't think you said was that we're excluding remakes unless it's like very significantly different from the original game.
True. So
like shot for shot remakes, like something like Shadow of the Colossus, is not eligible.
Right.
Other than that, there weren't really rules.
Right. No remasters, obviously, or re-releases,
or ports. Yeah.
Or bad games.
No, I have bad games in mine. I also, for my, this wasn't a mandate, but just me personally, I did not include any games that I didn't beat.
That's also
the
case for me.
Before I get into my list, I just want to give a shout out to a couple of games that I didn't beat that I do think are some of the more memorable games of the generation, but I just felt it was disingenuous of me to include them if I haven't beaten them, and those are Celeste, Metal Gear Solid 5, Persona 5, Super Mario Odyssey, and Cuphead.
Yep. I'm going to also do that when it's my turn, so you'll hear my honorable mentions as well.
All right, well, are you guys ready? Are you strapped in?
Yep.
First hot take of the night.
45 seconds. Let's go.
All right, well, number 30. South Park, The Fractured Butthole. I wanted to include... This is when I texted you guys and asked about eligibility of games that came out after next gen but weren't on the next gen consoles, because I would have put the Stick of Truth instead, but you said no, so yeah, I put this on here. I think both of these games are extremely special to me as being a fan of South Park. I think that they're extremely memorable experiences just in the animation style and the heart that they give the town. It really feels like you're in an episode of South Park, and I think this is a definite play for fans of the show.
Yeah, good pick. 45 seconds on the dot. That was great.
Wow. Good work.
I also, from what I played of the Stick of Truth, I really enjoyed it, and I want to get back to that at some point. All right,
they're both great.
Up next, we're going to go with my pick. And, here's some concessions. I did not beat a couple games that I think, from what I've seen of them so far, seemed like they would be up my alley, or what I've played of them I liked, and they, just didn't get beat, so they're not going to be in my list. But shout out to Titanfall 2, Ratchet & Clank, Metal Gear Solid 5, Persona 5 Royal, and Nier Automata, because those all seem very good from my brief experiences. So, starting my timer, my 30th game of the generation is going to be Call of Duty Blackout, specifically Blackout. I don't really care about the rest of Black Ops 4. This felt like one where, artistically speaking, it doesn't do much. Mechanically speaking, it doesn't do much new. But personally, subjectively speaking, we as friends had so much fun playing it that it would just be disingenuous to not include it on this list, where, there was a lot wrong with it. It was very buggy and glitchy, and it didn't get any, post-launch support, really. So all that aside, we had so much fun playing it, and it's just a very memorable Battle Royale experience from that time.
I agree.
And that is done.
My turn?
Yeah.
Question
absolutely.
mark? So, rules is that there are, I think, 2 games on here that I didn't beat, but I added them anyway. Assassin's Creed Black Flag taking up the bottom 10 spots.
Nice.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, number 30, Uncharted 4. It's still an Uncharted game. The first third or whatever is still really good, and it has its issues story-wise and length-wise, but it's still a great time and a classic adventure with Nate, and you gotta love it.
All right. Cool. Good pick. That did not make it into mine, but
Me neither.
alas.
Wow.
Let's see.
Wow.
Brian, you're up next.
My 29 is Overcooked 2.
Nice.
This is one of the last entries in our Platinum contest, and I think that's kind of where it landed a spot in my list, because it was just I always liked these games, but really kind of getting into it and trying to get all the challenges and everything really added respect for it, and in the mechanics that they have. It's just such a fun party game, really unique, really difficult but not grueling. It's very, very fun to play with friends, and extremely charming and creative with the different levels and the different challenges they give you. And I just love couch co-op party games like this, and it's great to see that there's still some in this climate.
Yeah, that's great. Once again, really good timing. Wow, you're pretty good at hitting 45 seconds. I don't know if you're you just have some goodwill hunting ability to intuitively know the time. But yeah, shout out to all the party games, Jackbox and Gang Beasts.
Shout out to all
on my list.
Shout out to all the pairs also.
I eat pears now and shit like that. Shout out to all the pear.
All right, I'm going to start with my number 29, and I really hate myself for having 2 Battle Royales in a row, but, the list gets better. Trust. It's Fortnite for number 29.
I'm very surprised how low both those are.
It's
Same.
another game where I just personally, looking at those games, I don't have, many of my, single-player, memories with them, which is probably where I skew with appreciating games, but as a multiplayer experience, they're top tier, and definitely this game especially deserves respect for what it did in terms of post-launch content and just mainstream breakthroughs, but that is 2 seconds left, so I gotta go.
Number 29 for myself is Outer Worlds. I find myself looking back on this game more fondly, like every single time that I think about it. It was a great experience, super colorful world, good story, good environment, everything, and it was the like second Fallout style game that I ever played, so it holds a special place in my heart.
Good pick, Alert.
Very good.
Murph, good never.
Good pick.
Thanks.
That's another game I didn't beat, so it couldn't make it to the discussion.
You didn't beat that, really?
No, I don't know. I fell off of it. I got tired of every side quest, but that's not my list, Nick. So we have to press on.
I can't believe you.
To Brian.
My 28 is also the Outer Worlds.
Hey,
Wow.
look at that.
I agree with what Nick just said. I had a great time playing this game. It was one of my favorite RPGs of the generation. I really like the wit. I like the design of the world. It's like open world, but not completely open world. And I think that
I like
it's a very satisfying Fallout style game. And I think they outdid the actual Fallout of this generation. So that's my pick.
I think that's definitely possible.
It's entirely possible.
So speaking of outdoing Fallout, my number 28th pick is Fallout 4.
Wow. Who would have
Yeah.
thought?
Hey, there you go, kid.
This game was originally not in my list for the longest time, and I don't know. I was doing some like hard reminiscing about like each year of this generation, and it just felt so disingenuous. I think to, throw it away after all the fun I did have with it, like back when it originally, when it originally released, I was obsessed with this game, and I loved going through it. I did pretty much everything in it. I'm surprised I didn't try and get the platinum in it, but
it's always time.
And I know me and Nick had a lot of fun playing it. Yeah, I might go back at some point.
Hey, what about me?
But
I liked that game.
It's since I think a lot of people have kind of realized that it doesn't hold up to the standard that was set by Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas and even Skyrim. And I also agree with a lot of those complaints, and I don't think it's aged very well in this generation, but for its time in 2015, I did have a lot of fun with it. So, objectively speaking, there's a lot of games better than it that didn't make this cut, but subjectively, it's on the list. And you're up now, Nicholas.
Well, my number 28 is Fallout 4.
Wow.
Basically repeat everything that Tim said. That one winter break, it did take me a while to get into this game, but that one winter break we were home from college, I went in so hard, and I love all the memories that I have with this game. So, it's on the list.
Very good. 9 seconds, Nick. Brevity is the soul of wit, as they say.
You said what needed to be said.
No, I agree. Yeah, we definitely don't need to feel like we need to pad it out, when it's been done. Speaking of padding it out,
Hey.
Brian's here to talk about Uncharted 4.
Whoa. My
All right.
number 27 is the best superhero game of the generation. Batman Arkham Knight.
Hey.
Oh, twist. Ooh. Hey, I faked you. I faked you
I
out.
saw
Murph.
that twist coming farther away than...
Listen, at the end of the day, would you rather be MJ or the Batmobile? That's all I gotta say.
That's a great, succinct way to put it, Brian.
That's all I got.
I fully endorse you on that that call right there.
That was paid for by friends of Brian, and a Batman super pack.
Staying with the theme of padding out content, my number 27th game of the generation, and also an RPG, which seems to be getting a lot of rep at the bottom third of this list by us, but Dragon Quest XI. And
You beat
this
that?
game, I still am confused about whether or not I beat it, but I did see
Good sign.
which leads into my criticisms of it being overly stuffed with content, but I think I did see credits at one point, and then the game continued playing. So I'm gonna say I beat it. But yeah, it's definitely filled with a lot to do. Too much, I would argue, and that's its main drawback for me. But what I did really like is, all the unique characters. It's a really fun traditional battle system, and the monster design is so unique and cool, and everything's well animated. Unlike a certain monster catching franchise that has no right to be anywhere near the top 300 on this list. And I appreciated its visual style. Its score is incredible, and it's just a nice classic medieval fantasy game, which sometimes you need in life. All right.
Well, sticking with the theme of padding and unnecessary content,
Our top 30, everybody.
recency bias doesn't help here at all. God of War.
Wow.
Tim, you're right in that it does have very amazing visuals, and the story is good. I think it sets up. I think that's the main reason it's on this list for me, is that it sets up the future game, and what this IP could do for Sony in the future is no small feat. But if I had one more instance of them saying, "Oh, here's this, go do that," and then you get there and they're like, rats, we gotta go find an eyeball. And then you go to look for the eyeball, and like, oh man, there's a rock in the way. Got to go around this. I couldn't take it. It's lazy, and you say it's innovative, Tim, but it's not. You could throw an axe. You could throw an axe. That's pretty cool, but it's just okay.
Why is it in your top 30? It's just okay. That was your endorsement.
I think you make a lot of fair points. So without further ado, why don't we hear from Brian?
Yeah, Nick, thanks for reading my script on God of War there. I wrote it carefully for you. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Nick's top 30 is just Brian made a top 60, and he needed he needed to fit it all in.
All right. My 26 is Battlefield 1. Had a lot of fun with this one. I really liked the return to the past and the more historical approach when all these shooters were kind of trying to be futuristic and losing their luster, and I think it really seized the day in that respect, and it kind of brought back my interest in multiplayer shooters for a while. And I also thought the campaign was very interesting for what it was. I had a lot of fun with this one of my favorite multiplayer games of the gen.
Yeah, before Battle Royales took over the scene, this was definitely the most standout first-person shooter. And I know Titanfall 2, but I didn't play that to completion. But yeah, great game. It narrowly missed my list by a few places. All right, and I'm up next. I had to do the birth date thing in my head quickly. So up next for me is Stardew Valley. Indie rural life simulator where you run a farm. This is one of the best indie games of the generation and of all time, probably. And it's just a very simple, charming game and very stress relieving. And I played it at a stressful time in my life, and it was very fun.
Number 26 is Uncharted Lost Legacy. It is better than Uncharted 4, I guess.
Preach.
Yeah, it is.
The story's better. It's timed more sensibly, and it's a shorter game. It doesn't have all the filler, and it's just a good experience overall. I did have issues with it at first when I played it, being the semi-open world. That I don't know, I wasn't really into it at the time, but
high praise, best of the gen.
Well, that was when I first started playing it, I wasn't into it. Then I stopped, and how I always do, I stop it and then I go back to it way later. I was more into it the second go around.
That game's 4 hours.
Yeah, but I had to stop.
When that Jeep mission came up, I think it's chapter 4, and I realized there was going to be a repeat of that Madagascar, I think, scene in Uncharted 4.
Yeah, I like to move it.
I internally screamed, and I probably externally screamed, actually.
I hope you did. That's a really funny image.
Brian, What is your number 25?
My number 25 is Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze.
Nice.
Just a wonderful Nintendo platformer. It's not really that much to say about it beyond just it's Nintendo at their best, just pitch perfect platformer stuff. Really, really wonderful game. And I played this on the Switch, not the Wii U, but really, 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 really good. 5 out of 5 bananas from me.
5 out of 5 bananas. When did that originally? 2014. Okay.
Yeah.
You just made it inside the generation. Good job, Brian.
Was it? I counted Wii U. I don't know if that's illegal.
Yeah.
Am I gonna get arrested?
Personally, you might. I arbitrarily drew the line at the PS3 release date.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
You know, so like a 2012 Wii U game. I don't know what that could ever be.
All right, hold on. I gotta go back to the drawing board.
But yeah.
Just send it to me an email, Brian. I'll add to my 30.
My number one was in Nintendo Land.
That's also a game I still want to play, though, is Donkey Kong. Anyways, my number 25 is, oh man, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this game might fall.
Wait, what?
It might fall a little lower than Nick expected, but I did have an amazing. I mean, all these. It should go without saying that everything on this list I had a great time with. Otherwise, it wouldn't have made it. But yeah, it's a very,
Nick.
You were a hater when you were playing, Tim. Don't even lie.
Yeah, and then I liked it a lot and platinumed it.
Then he throws on his rose-colored glasses and is like, "Wow, God of War."
When I came back to it, I played through probably half the story, and it got really slow. And when I came back to it, I got really into the story, actually, which I didn't expect to happen. But yeah, it's a very good first entry in that series, and I'm very excited for the next one. I think it's going to be much better. So I'm looking forward to what they have.
Good pick. Nick's still playing the DLC, for those wondering.
Yeah, that's out there. My number 20. My number 25.
Sony's withholding your PS5 until you beat that DLC. Sorry, Joe.
It might be, honestly. My number 25 is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. You know, it has its issues, technically, a little bit. But I never played any of those other, what are they, Knights of the Old Republic games.
KOTOR.
Yeah, I never played KOTOR or anything, so this was like the first time I played a Star Wars game that wasn't Battlefront. And it was really good for a first entry in that for me. And it does have its issues. I eventually turned the difficulty down to just like story mode because it wasn't as crisp as you'd probably want for that kind of combat. But, you know, nothing was better than feeling super OP using the Force and jumping around and stuff. So that's on there for me.
That's a good pick. I had it in my, like, towards the end of my 30, but it eventually dropped out. But it was in there at one point.
All right, Brian.
My 24 is Doom 2016 version. Really, really strong return to like back to basics first person shooter stuff. I like this one more than Eternal because I really think it's at its best when it's just this rhythmic combat loop, and I think Eternal added just a little bit too much stuff, which for me the simpleness of the 2016 version was what made it so special. Just getting in these almost like symphonies of violence and this, you know, heavy metal music playing while you just get in these grooves and just really, really compelling gameplay loops.
Eternals are not in your 30, right?
No.
All right, good. Smart man. I was worried you might squeak it in.
No, I like that game way more than you do, though.
Number 24 for me is
Kiefer Sutherland, 24.
Is Control. Which, I didn't know if you wanted to keep your joke in, so I didn't want, I got to make sure those sound things are separate for you.
What joke?
Right. So Control is a really interesting open world game in a way that hasn't been done, where it all takes place in one building, sort of, which is just a really, really cool idea. Because everything is to scale, like, which you don't see much in games, like the building is huge, as it should be, and there's so much to do, so much to explore. It's got a really cool, unique theme, which is centered around like paranormal investigations, and it's just really a really unique game in a genre where there aren't many innovations these days, and the powers are also very cool. Telekinesis is so fun in any game that it's in. And that was 45.
Glad somebody's
My-
keeping it in check.
My number 24 is Battlefield 1. Pretty much reiterating everything Brian said before. That was a lot. The multiplayer is so much fun. Even the beta, when that first came out,
Yeah.
hours spent on that, just that one map. They did do something different than what was going on at the time. Took it back, old school, and they really aced it. And I wish they would go back to that again, because I know
It's a great game.
the more recent one has some issues or something. So
Yeah, it wasn't as good.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I think a
very
little
fun.
overhated, but it wasn't as good as Battlefield 1.
All right.
My 23 is also Control.
Nice.
I agree with everything Murph said. Just a real exercise in atmosphere and a very creative and memorable game that definitely has some technical problems, but I would like to see Remedy still cooking up some weirdo stuff like this, and I think they're a very talented studio, and very, very much enjoyed my time with the game, platinumed it, and I would definitely play more. I was actually thinking about going to the Ultimate Edition for PS5 and playing the DLC, but, we'll see.
Mhm.
that's what I'll have to do. Just play it on the PS5 if I ever get one.
Horizon DLC
Alright.
first.
Guys, I just wanted to take a moment, and I just wanted to say, it's been really nice being friends with you.
Is this where it gets
Um,
bad?
I've appreciated having you two in my life, and I understand that you have to go away now.
If you have
um,
Last of Us 2 this low, it's going to be a problem.
So I just wanted to reaffirm, my appreciation for you guys, and with that, my number 23 game of the generation is The Last of Us Part 2.
Oh my god, bro.
a Neil
Christ.
a Neil Druckmann joint.
What a horrible, horrible take. Good Christ.
Now,
Go ahead. Have your time.
this is a
Yeah, explain yourself.
I'm taking my headphones off. I'll
this
hear
is
it
a
again in the
supremely
edit bay.
well-made game, and it is, masterfully crafted in many ways. I don't think it lives up to the extreme expectations that I had for it because of The Last of Us 1. I don't think it lives up to The Last of Us 1, and therefore I don't think it, it deserves, in proportion with my expectations and in proportion with, like, The Last of Us 1 having a perfect ending and, what needed to happen in order to justify going back to that series, that didn't happen for me. On its own, it's a masterfully written game with incredible dialogue, visuals, much improved combat over the first game. But, in other aspects, that's just, personally why it's lower for me, because it kind of didn't reach the high of The Last of Us Part 1.
Ugh.
And there we go.
I'm just
Yuck.
not even going to acknowledge that.
Yeah,
And
to
we're going to move on
Nick.
to my 23 is What Remains.
It's going to be sad now that
What Remains
every
of
game-
Edith Finch, Tim. Shut your mouth. It's my turn. You lost your
All
privilege.
right, your time starts.
Now it's time for him to talk about the fucking canning factory
It
again.
is all about the canning factory. It has to be brought up every episode. No, but just a great story in this game, as we have said before. I mean, we've said it every single episode, I think, since July.
Yeah.
Something about this game being great. So, just a great story. Everyone should go play it, and get a little sad.
And you said the part where you play as a baby really appealed to you, right? Was that the one?
That's like the second most memorable for me.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I remember you crying, saying, "I want to be a baby. I want to be a baby."
It makes you feel like how it makes you feel like Batman. This makes you feel
like
like
a baby.
like being a baby.
I hope
man.
babies don't feel like that.
Oh man. It does a great job of putting you in that specific person's shoes.
In the shoes of a baby.
But it does, though.
Yeah. No, it does.
Like-
It's awesome. It's a super good game. And Now, Brian, let's hear your number 22.
22 is a bit of a recent one here, hot off the presses.
Oh, The Last of Us Part 2.
Watch Dogs
Nice.
Legion. No, I'm kidding. Imagine I somehow beat that game already.
He got a review copy.
Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time, baby.
Nice.
Both this and the Insane Trilogy really kind of solidified me as a late game Crash fan. Never played them growing up, but absolutely adored my time with this game and the trilogy. I just think it's an extremely satisfying and extremely difficult platformer franchise, and I just love this type of stuff. This mascot platformer. These games are what I grew up on, and so it's very rewarding and nostalgic to go back to these types of games and still see them being as popular and as quality as they used to be in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I know when you played
Very
the
good.
trilogy, you were sipping on some iced coffee, listening to Jay-Z, so you were like in your good
Yeah, that's a
in
good
your
mind.
good mood time. But Crash 3 is considerably worse than the first two, and 2 is
I think
worse than
I
the
think
first
they
one.
get-
One
yeah,
is
they get worse.
so good.
4 is as good as 1, I think, or like in that tier. It might be better because it's just way more polished and modern. No, I agree.
You didn't get that on.
Huh?
Oh, sorry. Keep
The
going.
more mini games they add in 2 and 3, the worse the games get. But they also get short. Like
absolutely.
they're so easy. Like I beat 2 and 3
Oh,
so
yeah.
fast.
I think I have like 7 levels left in 3, and I started it on Sunday or something.
Yeah, 1 and 4 are absolutely amazing though. You should get 4, or wait for
Yeah.
a sale or something.
I'm gonna wait for
No,
a sale after I beat 3.
Murph, if you were asking if I have it on physical, I do not.
Dang.
Probably should have.
That's yeah. I'll get it on sale at some point. That'd be a fun. Let's see. I guess from now on, this is no longer my top 30, but my list of games I think are better than Neil Druckmann's magnum opus. And with that comes the Jedi Fallen Order number
Are
22.
you fucking serious,
You're
bro?
insane, dude.
You're on something over there.
So
That's
this game,
what kind of take is that?
I guess you can find out in the next 45 seconds.
I don't want to hear
Uh,
it. I'm out.
This is
Fire me.
insane.
Nick sounds
This
like
is
he's
the
gonna
best-
cry.
The best Star Wars game since at least like 2000, the 2000s at least. And it's a great return to form for the franchise in a way you don't see much very often. It made me very nostalgic for the series, and finally fulfilled the dream of just cutting dudes up with a lightsaber and using force powers. And it's styled after Metroidvania games, which is very cool. I like the Souls / Metroidvania inspiration there, and I think it's cool to see kind of the design elements of Dark Souls reach a more casual fan base in its influence of game design. And that's all I have to say.
You're nuts, man.
You're gonna be saying that more than once this episode.
Number 22. I'm just upset now. Number 22. Undertale. I think one of the big things that has to be considered here is it was made by one person. All the music was done by one person. And it's a completely unique experience in gaming in the modern generation. Super memorable. And everyone should play it because you can get multiple endings depending on how you decide to play. I did not get the true ending, but I did play the game, so that says something, I guess.
I don't even think you need to beat the game to play it.
No, I don't. But I did, so.
True. All right, Brian, what do you have?
21 is, in my opinion, the best first-person shooter of the generation, even though I have another first-person shooter above it because I hate myself. Titanfall 2. I gave Respawn a shout-out in our best developers discussion, and as we've already discussed a little bit, Jedi Fallen Order is really great, but I think Titanfall 2 is kind of like their swan song of this generation, and it's a shame that they EA put it in the sales position that they did, because I don't really know if we'll ever get to see a third one, but a really, really wonderful and extremely inventive single-player campaign combined with just excellent acrobatic multiplayer with behind the minds of some of the best Call of Duty games. So it's just really great shooter experience. Highly recommended.
Yeah, so Apex Legends didn't scratch the same itch for you. Is that what you're saying?
No, did not. That is Respawn, though. Good for them.
No, yeah, it takes place in the universe of that game.
Yeah, but I just I didn't get huge into the multiplayer for Titanfall 2. I liked it, but
Yeah.
the campaign was my big selling point. But I think the
I know.
multiplayer was really good. And I like Titanfall 2 more than Apex for sure.
The multiplayer is really fun in Titanfall 2.
It feels like what Call of Duty should feel like in the future, where like Infinite Warfare
Yeah.
and Advanced Warfare like didn't feel right.
Number 21 for me is Undertale, and I think Nick did a good summary of it. It's a really good game. It's a really good critique of games in many ways, and it, the way it makes fun of tutorial levels, the way it makes fun of boss fights and morality choices, stuff like that. The dialogue is super crisp. It's very humorous, one of the funniest games. And yeah, just overall, it's fantastic in all of those things. It's a great indie project. It has a very unique art style, unique combat / gameplay, and it's just nice. A game everybody should play. It's super short, and it's a fun experience the whole way through. And one of the few games where like you'll actually laugh out loud, maybe.
Yeah.
There's multiple times where I laughed at that game. So, 21 for me is Detroit Become Human.
Ooh.
Detroit's on this list. It's my first, I guess, Telltale stylish game. You make
Quantic
your choice.
Dream, David Cage.
Yes. You make your choices and go about playing the game through the eyes of 3 different characters and how their stories all interact with each other, and it is just awesome. And the ending I got was very pleasing to me, and I hope everyone gets a good ending.
In life.
That was in my list at one point, but it fell out. Just wanted to, let you know that, Nick. Glad it made it in my second list.
Yeah, I think
Number
it's 45
yeah.
for you.
All right, and timer starts for you, Brian. Whenever you're ready.
20 for me is Ratchet and Clank 2016.
Cool.
Huge fan of this franchise. Grew up with it. Will always have a very special place in my heart. And it was so rewarding to see Insomniac's vision of making a Pixar movie pretty much come to life, and the quality of the animation level and the gameplay and all that being brought to, at the time, a next gen console. And I can't wait to see what they do with Rift Apart. I think this is just a franchise that could pretty much go on forever and still be just so fun and funny and charming. It's just filled with entertainment value and comedy, and I can't wait to play more of them.
Very good. If that wasn't, if that wasn't one of the games I hadn't finished yet that I'm currently on, I think that would definitely be making it into my list. So I'm sorry to them.
I'm sure they're heartbroken about it.
Yeah, they probably are. This means a lot for sales. This list that we put out. So that's a tragedy for them. My number 20 is probably gonna be Animal Crossing: New Horizons.
Probably. You
Probably.
might change during your spiel.
No, wait. Yeah. So this is a great new entry in this series that I have a lot of nostalgia for, and it came at a perfect time, as everyone who's talked about this game has remarked. But it's true. It came out at a great time, and we all played it together. That was all. We had a lot of fun. Playing it kind of locked down in quarantine. Good way to stay in touch with your friends.
That
loved
first
ones,
time we played
girlfriends.
hide and seek, Tim, was awesome.
Yeah. Really fun game overall. Really charming, and just a great entry in the series.
Oh wow, it's my turn.
Nick?
I'm thinking I'm going to catch a little bit of flack from this one. This is a game that I didn't beat. Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. This, of the From games that I've played, this is definitely the one that I enjoyed the most. This is the only one that I think I would consider going back to play. And I got to the final boss of the shit ending, so, I played enough of it, I think, to have an opinion that it's technically sound. And it was
You clearly
a great
don't
game.
like it.
I did like it. I just lost muscle memory because something else happened. Some other game came out and I stopped playing it.
Murph,
Yeah,
we'll talk
fine.
about this later, like real gentlemen, all right?
Like real gentlemen.
My number 19 is a Boeing 747 because, on my brief flight, I realized that it was technically sound.
What do you mean brief flight, dude? I played the whole game up to the end.
No, you did not.
No,
Okay, I missed
that's
three
It's
like
like
bosses.
another 15
That's half the
hours
game.
after that.
Dude, you didn't even see the Fountain of Immortality or whatever that
Yeah,
whole area.
whatever weirdo thing is going on.
The
at end
giant
of that
koi
game.
fish. Oh, that's great. But no, good picnic. I'm glad it got some representation from you. Hopefully, Demon Souls gets a little bit more next time. How about that?
Lol.
We'll leave it there.
I'm gonna buy that game.
I'm gonna pretend you didn't say that.
I didn't hear that. All right, Brian. Do you guys want to take a brief pause and see how we feel? We're 10 into the list. What is it looking like for everybody? How do we feel so far? Does
About
it
what?
does it seem?
I'm very upset with you,
Have we
Tim,
compiled?
but, that's about it.
Yeah, your Last of Us 2 take is truly horrifying.
It's horrendous. Yeah, it is.
It's like I knew it was gonna be
I-
bad, but
I can
that's
still make
just-
some edits. I can put it.
No, you
I
can't.
will,
This
don't
is
worry.
this is recorded audio. This is it.
no, I'm just gonna edit the 22 or whatever it was up to number
cut it
like
up.
when we're talking about number 1.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of crossover, I think, from here on out. I think we had a couple random.
No, I
ones
don't
that-
think so.
You don't think so? I do.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I think there will be.
I already feel like but I mean, no, I don't think there's been too many dumpster takes yet. But I know you got some in the chamber, Murph. I feel like Nick's number
very-
1 is gonna be very surprising.
His number 1.
Yeah, I have a good
I-
guess on what I think it is, but I don't think it's gonna be the same as either of our number 1s. I know what yours is.
Interesting.
Tim, if yours is God of War, I will kill you.
It's not God of War.
Stay tuned.
All right.
If God of
Yeah,
War, if
let's
God
hear-
of War is in your top 3, you're getting put down.
let's hear number 19 from Brian.
Number 19, Horizon Zero Dawn. I feel like I liked this game a lot more than Murph did. It was like came out on a spring break or like right around a spring break, I think, or some sort of break. I had time off and I just
I think it was spring break.
There's 2
grinded
days
it,
to the proving Ross wouldn't leave me now.
Yeah, that's fact. But I like played it like all day, every day for like whatever. I don't even know what break it was, but I just remember being home from college and just playing it like incessantly, and I platinumed it and just really, really enjoyed my time with it and was very impressed with what Guerrilla was able to do pivoting from the Killzone franchise, which I was also a big fan of. And I can't wait to play subsequent entries in this series as well.
Yeah, great game, great pivot by Guerrilla, and yeah, I'm really excited to see their second because it's a very good first showing. It came out better than like every Assassin's Creed game, you know what I mean? And they've been making those games for a decade, so a lot of good things in store. All right, so it's my turn now. Oh boy. So my number 19 is going to be Spider-Man. Now, this game is a solid 8 at best, but it does feature my favorite Marvel character, one of my favorite IPs in general. And, that's kind of the dream. It's, just like the Arkham games with Brian, it's kind of just to have your favorite hero where you can play as them. That's very fun. And I'm super looking forward to Miles Morales because of that. It does have a lot of problems, which we've discussed incessantly, but its highlights are super strong highlights. And, when I think about what I played this generation, that really stood out to me. Being able to swing around like a beautiful New York City as Spider-Man, fight Doc Ock, all that stuff. That is definitely up there in the memories.
Yeah, I think I'm going to like Miles Morales a lot more. I'm looking
Yeah,
very
there's
much
gonna be
looking
some
forward to
great.
it.
I can't wait for like the music, like the swinging scenes. Like if it's anything like Spider-Verse, like I'm gonna
Yeah.
like it a lot.
I just think it'll be like a more streamlined and tight experience, which I think
That's what it needed.
it needed a little
Yeah.
trim.
For sure. All right.
Number 19 for me is Doom 2016.
Hey,
Like Brian said, it is a symphony of violence, as he put it. There's less like extra things to do in this one, or like control wise, compared to Eternal, and I think that's what makes it better, because that is like you focus on shotgun, switch, health, low, like not shield, dash, then whatever other nonsense Eternal added. I think it's a better experience overall, and even the music in this one was way better in my opinion. Like I could listen to the music in this one and play the game, but in Eternal, I feel like it was way worse, and I listened to other things as I played. So
yeah, I was listening.
This
to,
was a great time.
Lil Uzi with the Eternal Doom Eternal a take.
Yeah, that's a great game. I also didn't beat that, but a lot of fun.
Brian, what was your 18, sir?
Sir, yes, sir. It is Undertale. I feel like you guys have covered it. This game's really good.
No, I don't think so.
We've talked about it a lot, both today and
Yeah.
in general. This game's great. Go play it. Please, please,
A solid
Please.
recommendation.
please play. I'm begging you. I'm gonna beg you for the rest of my 45 seconds.
That without checking a timer.
I'm Dr. Manhattan.
All right. Well, I'm gonna cut you off. I'll just tell you it's 45
But you
seconds
didn't have
so
to
you can
cut me
rest
off.
peacefully.
You didn't have to stoop so low.
No, I didn't. And my number 17th, or no,
18?
sorry, 18th is Smash Ultimate, which is, in terms of memories, Smash 4 is always going to be the highest, but I excluded Wii U games from my list personally.
Jeez.
And I think it's the best Smash in terms of content. It's not the one I have the best memories with, but it's just a super well done game and still is getting great content to this day. And we will have a lot of fun with that one, I think, for years to come.
Until the Switch Pro comes out and they release
very-
another Smash game for it.
Very surprised that that's as low as it is.
Well, yeah, if it was Smash 4, it would be like top 10. So,
Fair enough, I guess.
yeah.
Number 18 for me, the only other game on here that I did not beat is Cuphead.
Hey, good
Uh,
game.
I got onto the third island. I just have a problem, and I can't finish games the first time I go through them. So, this is no exception. And it is just an awesome platformy action game with great art style, all hand-drawn, and I highly recommend it for everyone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. Even though
great game.
I omitted it because I didn't want to include games I didn't beat, but that game is awesome.
Yeah, I want to play it on PS4 or PS5, I guess now. And
Humble brag.
I have no yeah, it's true. Sorry, Nick. I don't think I'll be able to get the platinum, but that won't stop me from wasting hours to try it.
That's the spirit.
What, don't you have to beat it without dying or something ridiculous
It's like
that?
really hard to platinum. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I think I can do that, but I can't. Nemo. All right, Brian, what is your number?
17 is
38.
I thought that too. My 17 is Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Nice.
Just such a good game. Came out at perfect time, just like you said, Murph. That it's just so like. It was so peaceful to play that at the time, and I should start playing that again. I've been very stressed recently, and it's just such a cute, fun, simple game that's just so happy and there's just nothing that goes wrong. Everybody is just so nice. Like it's just a great, cute little game. And I had a lot of nostalgia for the GameCube one, but I was kind of hesitant to get this because I didn't know how much it would carry over into my adult life. But I felt just like a elementary schooler again when I started playing it, and my undying love for Tom Nook and his capitalistic terrorism still survives today.
Yeah, it's an awesome series, and everybody's gangster till the tarantula shows
Yeah,
up.
that's true. Those things are scary. I don't trust like that.
Tim?
Oh yeah, it's my turn. Okay. Nick, what was your number 18?
Cuphead?
Oh yeah, okay. My number 17 is Ghost of Tsushima.
Hey.
This is one of the top like open world. It's the number one like Assassin's Creed style open world game that I have, and it's probably the best one of that genre in my opinion. It is. I think Sucker Punch approached this with like a compassion that they didn't have in Second Son, and they did such a good job with it. Everything felt so lovingly put together, and just so it was just a very impressive first showing for this franchise. And I don't know how well it'll survive in sequels. If it was kind of a one time thing, but it was great. Had a lot of fun with it.
My number 17 is the Resident Evil 2 remake.
Hey.
My first
Nice.
Resident Evil that I played through, I watched, and we kind of like grouped played 7 with you, Brian.
Yeah, great time.
That was awesome. But this is my first Resident Evil that I played by myself, and I was very scared. I'll never forget the time that Tim and I were both playing through it at the same time, except for one of us would be like a second ahead, and one of us would scream, and then the next one would be like, "What?" And then
Yeah, I was on chat with you
Everyone
guys
screams.
playing something else.
That was awesome that we stayed in sync.
we were
Speaking of being a second ahead, Nick, wait till you see what my next one on my list is.
good call. But yeah, great game. It's normally Metroidvania style stuff isn't really my my wheelhouse, but I did love this game. So
Well, my number 16 is Inside. I talked a little bit about this on our indie episode. It's a very, very striking and original, pretty disturbing, an indie game. It's like not something like I would imagine going back to very often, but it's the type of game and experience that sticks with you in a way that not many games do, because it's very ambiguous in what's going on, but it's still a story game, like which I find very compelling, considering most games don't kind of swing for the fences like that. This kind of just feels like an A24 movie or something, and it's just something that stuck with me throughout the generation. I highly recommend playing it and experiencing the bizarreness of it.
Nice. All right, wow, 45 seconds again. Fantastic. My number 16 is, as I alluded to, Resident Evil 2 Remake. Nick said it pretty well, and it was just a great experience, very spooky, and I had a lot of fun kind of getting creeped out, but also kind of laughing at the more like campy stuff that was going on there. Just like we joked about it a lot. Like this was this dude's first day as a police officer, and it was like a zombie outbreak in his station. Like it's a very funny scenario, and it's a very I don't know. It's like it makes your heart pump, but it also is fun to play somehow. It's like it's still like entertaining in like a humorous way, kind of. And that's all I have time to say.
oh wow, what number are we on? 16.
You sound like you just woke up in class or something.
16.
What page are we on? Yeah, 16.
My number 16 is a game that you both had lower than me. Black Ops 4. Just it did have its
I didn't have it
issues,
lower
but
than you. Stay tuned.
Oh, I thought you did. I thought you mentioned it. Never mind.
You thought.
I did just wake up in class.
You're a bad listener. Shame him,
I
Murph.
am.
Shame.
Fine. Black Ops 4.
Shame.
So many hours went into this game, and we were good at it.
Yeah.
And that's about it. It was so much fun. It did have its issues and glitches, but it was part of the appeal.
Okay.
It was not. It was part of the unappeal to me, but yeah. There were some hilarious glitches though. I don't know, of it, like involving helicopters and stuff like that. Like I feel like a lot of.
Do you remember that one time the truck
funny
we were driving up the hill in the truck and it like hit a tree or something and just flew straight up in the sky?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I'm pretty sure one time we were trying to get the woods skin unlocked and like the helicopter blew up for no discernible reason midair.
Love to see it.
I think we were trying to honk the horn and I don't know. Something was going on.
Landing at construction is some of the best memories I have for a battle royale.
Don't even talk about that because I might have to
And we went-
pay Brian to edit it higher on my list just for that memory of.
Top site.
And then when hijack got added, going there, running hijack.
Wow. Yeah.
Good.
It really felt like you were. I mean, it didn't.
No, we were actually at war too.
Yeah, it felt like you and your buddies were actually like trying to. It felt like you were at paintball or something, not obviously real war, but like it felt like, oh, like we got to get out of here, like take cover, It was really fun.
And I think the way the menu systems and stuff worked is way better than how they work now in Warzone. So, RIP.
We've currently devoted more time on this podcast to Black Ops 4 than any other game. So
Yeah, it's just a fucking shame.
maybe that's our game of the gen. I don't know.
Stay tuned.
All right. Okay. So that wraps up our top 30 through 16. And now stay tuned for next week. We're going to come back to you with our 15th through 1st picks for the game of the generation. So, you've seen what we had so far, and we've got a lot more heated debate coming at you for sure. It's gonna get feisty in here. So you'll definitely want to tune in for that. It'll come out the week before the PlayStation. So you will have a great lengthy podcast to listen to as you're waiting for that pre-order to hopefully come in for you guys. So have a good week. Nick, where can they find us?
They can find us on Twitter at Pseudo Ludo Cast. They can find us on Instagram at Pseudo Ludo Pod, and they can find us on YouTube as well when Brian uploads the videos.
Which is not often.
All right. I'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
I'm honestly pretty surprised The Last of Us didn't make it into your list, guys, because I know it's not going to be in the top 15. So, I'm the only one out here repping Naughty Dog on this list.
Nick had both Uncharted.
But you hate to see it. All right. So, bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
This might be a good spot to find some ingredients.